what have the hours been like since you heard your name called?
It's been a little hectic, but it's been a lot of fun. When the clock struck 8 o'clock last night, it got a little stressful, just, playing the waiting game and waiting to hear your name called. And once it was called, it kind of got to be a whirlwind. I was on the phone with a lot of different people, and then got to be able to celebrate with my family and enjoy that time with them. And that's why I stayed at home, and I wanted to do that. And we probably went a little long, and then the car came at 5 a.m. this morning to pick me up for the airport. So it's been a long day, but it's a lot of fun. I'm happy to be in San Francisco.
What stood out to me, we were on the conference call with you last night. You were so composed, and everything was polished. And then I got to see the video. I'm guessing you've seen the video too, but it seemed like a really emotional moment for you.
Absolutely, yeah. It I got a huge, crazy family with a lot of people that are a lot of fun and very loud and very exciting. But it's something that I've worked for, and my family's helped me work for 20 some years now, and it was a huge moment for us, and it's a big accomplishment to be playing in the NFL and to be a top 10 pick at such a prestigious organization like the 49ers, and to have that happen, it's just one of those things that you'll never forget.
You talked a little bit about your cousin Matt yesterday. Have you had a chance to talk with him at length, and has he talked to you about Kyle and the offense and those sorts of things?
Yeah, actually, Matt was one of the first people that called me right after I got off the phone with Kyle and John, and he was just saying how pumped he is of me and for me, and had such an awesome experience, obviously, with Coach Shanahan down in Atlanta and getting to a Super Bowl and the amount of success that they had together. Joking around, obviously, that I'm going to need some tips on the playbook here so I can learn it a little faster and get up to speed. But Matt has been supportive of me and obviously knows how great of a situation it is coming in here and playing for Coach Shanahan and obviously this organization.
You mentioned last night you hadn't talked to the team since the combine, the formal interview at the combine. Last night, John and Kyle both talked about how impressive you were. I mean, can you take us back to that meeting? Any specific things that you remember from it at all?
I don't really remember too many specifics other than just talking football. I don't really have too many things to be digging up on in my past, so I think that they appreciated that, and so we were able to just talk football, and that's all I tried to do, and show my knowledge of the game and the way that I study the game and the way that I prepare for the game and love this game, and I think I got that message across clearly to them, and enough to the point where they kept it from me that they were going to pick me, and it was a nice surprise for sure.
How was that?
It was awesome. Joe's obviously one of the most accomplished tackles in the NFL and has been for a long time. He and I played under some similar coaching trees, so I've one of those guys that I've studied for a long time on top of admiring him from afar. It's going to be an unbelievable opportunity to play across from Joe and learn from him and the kind of guy and player that he is. And I mean, his reputation exceeds him, and he's deserving all of the credit that he has. And I'm very, very excited to get to work with Joe and learn from him and hopefully elevate my game to a level that he's been playing at for a long time.
Steve Maddox, the league allowed you to take you number 9, but traded the guy who was poised playing right tackle today. When you saw that, what were your thoughts? And
I didn't really know too much about it. I was picked by the 49ers to come in and compete and play football, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not the one in charge of shaping the roster. I'm not the one in charge of making those kinds of decisions. So they brought me here to play offensive line, and that's what I'm going to do, no matter if it's first-year starter or riding the bench for a little while.
Yeah, is there anything that you wanted to learn about the 49ers after they selected you that kind of brushed up before you got here?
Not too much. I kind of done my homework on all the teams, so I knew who I was getting myself into. Obviously, Mr. Lynch and Coach Shanahan have unbelievable reputations in this league. John as a player and just one of the best that's ever done it, and on top of just being a great person as well. And Kyle, I obviously have had stories from my cousin and the way that he does things and how successful he's been. So I knew that was what I was getting into, and I was really, really excited for the opportunity.
Mike, did you meet any other teammates today? Have you talked to Jimmy Garoppolo or McKinnon, the guy you're going to be blocking for?
I did talk to Jimmy. I met Jimmy for a little bit and spoke to him for a little while in between his workout and stuff. Really excited to get to work with him. I'm really, really excited to get to work with Jimmy. He's going to be a guy that's going to lead this football team into great heights, and I think that we're going to have a lot of success together. And seeing what he did at the end of the year last year when he got here, and Coach Shanahan and all those guys around him, I think we're going to have the chance to do something pretty special.
In
there's a kind of a full circle aspect to this. I read, I think at the combine, you said that when Matt was drafted, you were in 8th grade. I think Joe Staley was drafted the year before that.
Yep.
Now I just saw the video, you ran into Joe in the cafeteria. And I guess you said in 8th grade, that's when your NFL dream really materialized there. How cool was it to run into Joe, the guy from the same kind of coaching tree today, and realize you were playing with him?
It was incredible. Like I said earlier, he's a guy that I've not only admired and looked up to and known who he was. I studied Joe. I studied how he does things, how he, what techniques he uses, and try and put it into my own game. And I was able to have that kind of access and know who he was because of the coaches that are at Notre Dame and that have coached him before. And like I said, I'm just so excited to get to be in the same room as him and get to get around him and learn as much as I can from him in a quick amount of time.
So you've probably heard as on that the playbook is pretty extensive and wordy. Have you gotten a chance to look at it yet?
I have not. No, I have not looked at the playbook yet at all. Yeah, just got on the plane and then got here about 2 hours ago. So we're getting it up. We'll get it going soon. Yeah.
Mike, you I think, finished your career with 39, swing starts 38. Did you have to look at significant injuries?
Nothing too significant. I had a sprained ankle for most of my junior season, my true junior year. I had the stomach flu in my first start ever. That was kind of crappy. I had a broken hand in a couple of games, so nothing that's ever been too significant that's ever kept me out of playing. And if I'm able to play and if I'm moving and if I can stay in front of people, I'm going to be playing. And that's the mindset that I've always had since I've been playing football.
You don't consider a broken hand significant?
No.
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 Did you ever miss any games in high school?
No. I played every snap both ways, special teams in high school. I went to a high school with about 30 guys on our varsity football team, and I started as a freshman and then on.
Okay. So when did you first start? How many games you ever missed a game? You ever played Pee-wee? When did you first
I missed not football. I've never missed a football game. I've missed basketball though. My sophomore year of high school, I had a little ankle thing that I couldn't run up and down a court, so that kept me out of a couple of basketball games.
Mike, obviously it worked out really well for both of you, but a lot of attention for Quentin throughout the process. Did you ever feel like you were being overlooked at all, and was there any competitive element between you two going into it?
Well, there's obviously a competitive element to the two of us, and that's why we're here. That's why we're at the level that we're at. I never felt like I was getting shortchanged. I mean, the Q deserves everything that he's getting. He's as good of a player as there is in the country, and probably eventually in this league. And he's as good as it gets in terms of a player, obviously, and everybody can see that. But he's a guy that just goes to work each and every day to push people, to get the most out of his teammates and compete at the highest level. And that's all that we've ever done together. And we've both played a significant role in pushing each other to where we're at now. And I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to play next to Q for 3 years.
One of the things people on the internet have written about you is they think you're probably only a right tackle in the league. Do you have a response to that?
It doesn't really bother me. If right tackles are still playing in the NFL, so that's not a bad deal. But I don't know what kind of an insult it is to play right tackle versus left tackle. I don't think that there's anything that's very much different other than body mechanics. I mean, if you go look in the league, there's guys like Von Miller, Khalil Mack, and all those guys that rush on the right side. So it's not like I'm not going to be playing somebody that's elite as a pass rusher on the right tackle either. I guess the only difference is that all 32 guys right now are right-handed, so they can see where it's coming from.
Is that going to be your number forever? Have you settled on that jersey, or is there another one that you'd like to
No, that's good with me. Yeah, I'm going to settle with that one. It's one number higher than I had in college, and it's close, and it'll work for me.
I saw that Coach Kelly, I don't know if he was joking, back during your recruitment, he joked that he was afraid he was going to lose you to the basketball program. Was that a thing?
Not a serious thing, but it could have been a thing had I let it be a thing. I had actually one of my best friends and my roommate throughout college was Steve Visturia, who is a guy from Philadelphia as well, and he was on the basketball team at Notre Dame, and so I would always kind of play pickup with them in the off seasons and stuff like that, and got the feel of the Notre Dame basketball team, but it was never anything very serious that I was ever gonna pick up basketball full time. I knew I wanted to play football. Football's the thing I love to do, and I wanted to make a career out of it, and I wasn't gonna be probably being too good at playing offensive tackle if I was losing 20 pounds every offseason.
How would you describe your basketball game?
I haven't played in a long time, so it's going to be pretty hard for me to do that. But you know, I was a guy that I was always fearful that I was going to stop growing, so I learned how to shoot a jump shot pretty early, so I could shoot it a little bit. But I was mostly inside and a big. So
How tall were you when you were playing basketball?
I graduated 8th grade at like 6'5", so I got to about as tall as I am now when I was at the end of my freshman year of high school. Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to come bite me in the butt a little bit. Yeah.
So you have to tell us what your favorite burger.
So I think of the three that are comparable, I guess it's like Five Guys, Whataburger, and In-N-Out are kind of like all the same type of deal. I would say Five Guys is probably my favorite out of all those. I don't know. I liked the burger at In-N-Out. The burger was good. It was just the other stuff around it that didn't give me the full package.